Adeyinka, where I talk about matters on my mind and anything that just come to mind. But today I want to be talking about unemployment in Nigeria and what I feel the likely causes are. But first, we need to understand what employment means. In a layman term, it just means the state of being employed for a pay, like the state of having a paid work. But in the last quarter of 2018, unemployment in Nigeria went up to I think 26% and is still going. And we keep asking ourselves, what are the likely causes for unemployment in Nigeria? And I studied on my own and I discovered that the main cause for unemployment in Nigeria is unemployability. And when I say unemployability, what do I mean? Is a state of being unsuitable for employment, meaning there are works, there are jobs to be done, but you are not suitable for that job. And if we look at it very well, every year universities churn out graduates and they keep complaining that there is no employment in the country. And again, looking at the country's economy, employment has been a major measure of success and societal status since the early days of civilization. So for us to say our economy is good, we have to look at the rate of employment. But as the case is now, let's look at when we say unemployability. There are a lot of graduates. It's a very broad topic, but I'm just going to kind of reduce it now to graduates that are not employable. Graduates that, fine, you think you have your certificate, but the industry, the market, you can't fit into the market. And I'm going to be talking about personal experiences. You see, I've long moved from blaming the system, blaming the country, blaming the government for the reason some people are not employable. Let me use myself as an example. I did BSc in computer science in Olabisi Onabanjo University. It's actually a 5-year course. And I know for a fact that not until my final year, when I was approaching my project, that was when we had access to the lab, where we can actually have a laptop to ourselves. And I know some of my mates that were also caught up in that. So what I'm saying invariably is, as an undergraduate, or let me say as a graduate in this country, it's high time we moved away from what the government is going to offer or what the system has in stock. If we wait for what the system has in stock or what the system wants to give us to be employable, we might be shooting ourselves in the leg. And let's look at some cases that I will be pointing at. I've had cause to interview people when they come for jobs, graduates. I'm going to be saying just few examples. There was someone I interviewed I think 3 months ago, and I was just asking her that, okay, you've come to this company, what do we do in this company? And she told me that, oh, she doesn't know. And I was like, okay, when did you get the invite for the job interview? She said 4 days ago. So I begin to wonder, you are a graduate seeking for employment and you got an invite from a company that you should come for interview and you didn't deem it fit to make inquiries. Go online. Google is there for everybody to inquire about what that company does or what they are into, and you came not prepared for the interview. So that kind of thing, that kind of person was actually not employed. But if you find yourself in that category, you can now say there is unemployment in the country or there is unemployment in the land. The question we should be asking ourselves, especially Nigerian youth, the question we should be asking ourselves is, are we employable? I've also had cause to interview people. There was one I actually interviewed 3 weeks ago, and I was asking that, in your own opinion, what do you understand when someone say you are a team player? Are you a team player? He was direct. He said, madam, I'm not really good in sports, but I can do the job. And I was thrown aback. These are the volume of graduates. These are the quality of graduates that the institutions are churning out every year. So let's move our mind away from unemployment to, are we employable? We go to school, we come out, we are not prepared for the market. I've also had cause to interview young leavers, young school leavers, young graduates coming for interview. You know, a lot of people will say you must have 3, 4, 5 years experience, but I'm always of the opinion that, okay, if every company says everybody must have 4, 5 years, the people just leaving school, the graduates just graduating, who are the companies that will get them? So I've always been an advocate of get them, train them. But again, I've also had my fingers burnt, because when you interview these people, first it starts from their salary expectation. Because I don't expect to get someone that just finished school, green, just finished service, obviously no experience, and I ask you, what's your salary expectation? You tell me 200,000. You tell me 300,000. There was actually one that told me like 350,000, and I had to say, okay, excuse me, what are you going to offer the company? What are you bringing on board? What experience do you have? I'm not saying there are no jobs out there that can give you up to even more than that. But for these people that categorize themselves as there is no employment in the country, what are you bringing to the table? What experience do you have? Because as far as Adeyinka is concerned, you know, you stay 4 or 5 years in the university, you come out, you serve. The first thing that should be on your mind is you want to gain experience, you want to work, you want to see what you can get, you want to stand on your own, you want to gain experience as short as it could be, and not really the money per se. So when they come for interviews and they ask for this ridiculous amount of money, they go back to the unemployment in quotes. So my own analysis is the reason for unemployment is unemployability. A lot of graduates are out there that they don't have anything to offer. I'm sorry to say. I know a lot of people will not buy into this topic. A lot of people will think, oh, it's not so. But the truth about it is, do your analysis. I meet with a lot of young school leavers almost every now and then. I do a lot of survey, and I realize that a lot of people out there, they just want to come to work, 8 a.m., resume at 8, and by 5, go home. They are not thinking about values to be added. And what I keep telling people is, if you want to take employment in a place, it's straight by barter. You are taking, just like I said in my initial intro, that employment is a state of having a paid work. So you are being employed so that your employer can pay you. But what are you giving in return? Service. What are those services? Is it to come to work at 8 a.m. and close by 5 without adding any value? So in a nutshell, what I want to say is, make yourself valuable. For everyone out there that thinks, oh, there's no employment in the country, please don't get me wrong. We have lack of several things in the country. But let's ask ourselves, ask yourself as an individual, that are you employable? For every company you have written to, for every company that has interviewed you, and if you were not hired, do you go back and think, why was I not hired? Is it your dressing? Is it the way you spoke? Why didn't they hire me? So before you tag yourself as I'm unemployed, ask yourself, are you employable? So once again, thank you for taking our time to listen to Today with Adeyinka. Join me next time.